LSU graduate transfer cornerback Terrence Alexander is set to get his purple and yellow stripes on Monday, according to NOLA.com. Alexander announced his intention to graduate transfer from Stanford to LSU in the spring, but the thing about graduate transfers is that you have to graduate before you can play. Alexander earned his degree from Stanford last Sunday, clearing him to play for LSU this fall. Stanford operates on the quarters system, pushing its graduation ceremonies a month later than schools that follow the semester system. A New Orleans native, Alexander played in only one game in 2017 after suffering a season-ending injury in the opener against Rice. He appeared in 13 games as a reserve in 2016. He figures to compete for the open cornerback spot opposite All-America candidate Greedy Williams against sophomores Kerry Vincent, Genter Kirkland and Manny Netherly. It won't affect the scoreboard one whit come September, but Wisconsin got a nice little victory on Saturday. The annual Manning Passing Academy came to a close on Saturday with the aired-out competition among the camp's counselors, which was comprised of who's who of returning college quarterbacks. Among a group that include Penn State's Trace McSorley, Missouri's Drew Lock, UCF's Mackenzie Milton, Washington's Jake Browning, Georgia's Jake Fromm, Alabama's Jalen Hurts and others. Badgers quarterback Alex Hornibrook was the only player able to hit the golf cart streaking down the right sideline. Hornibrook, a rising junior, completed 198 of 318 passes, 62.3%, for 2,644 yards, 8.3 per attempt, with 25 touchdowns against 15 interceptions, good for a 148.61 efficiency rating, which rated 24th nationally. He led the Badgers to a 13-1 record, a Big Ten West championship, an Orange Bowl victory over Miami and a number 7 final ranking in the AP poll. The basketball world got to know LeVar Ball quite well the last few years. If there is a college football of that on the horizon, the LA Times seems to think they found him. John Brown, the father of USC class of 2018 wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown, has drawn comparisons to LeVar Ball for a variety of reasons that include the demand and vision for excellence in professional sports for his son. St. Brown was a 5-star recruit for the Trojans in the most recent recruiting cycle, according to his rival's profile. He was also ranked as the top recruit in the state of California and the top wide receiver in the nation. That alone brings reason to expect big results for St. Brown at USC. The genes are certainly running in the family. John Brown is a former championship bodybuilder. St. Brown's oldest brother is former Notre Dame wide receiver Equanimeous St. Brown. Osiris St. Brown, the middle son in the family, will be a redshirt freshman this fall at Stanford. With so much talent in the family, John Brown may be tapping into his inner LeVar Ball by suggesting Amon-Ra could play in the NFL right now. This is, of course, a ridiculous thought considering that even the most talented college freshmen still have a long way to go to be ready to compete at the high level the NFL demands. But where Brown differs from Ball is he expects his sons to have to earn any accolades that may come their way. "I'm going to request USC head coach Clay Helton put his butt at the bottom of the charts and see what he's made of," John said in a featured story published by the LA Times this week. "Make him fight. Sharpen the knife." John even goes so far to suggest Amon-Ra has his eyes on making some unprecedented, and likely impossible, college football history. "He's serious about everything," John says. "Ask Amon-Ra what his goals are for his first year with the Trojans. With an unblinking, straight stare he will tell you, 'I want to win the Heisman.' All 3 years. All 3 years, eh?" Putting aside the prediction that Brown is already predicting his son is jumping to the NFL after his junior season, an idea that is not at all far-fetched if St. Brown plays out the way recruiting experts in USC expect he will. "We have to smile at the historic bar Brown is setting for his son. Only one player has ever won the Heisman Trophy twice, Ohio State's Archie Griffin in 1974 and 1975. It is also worth noting the last wide receiver to win the Heisman Trophy was Michigan's Desmond Howard in 1991. Tim Brown of Notre Dame, 1987, and Johnny Rodgers of Nebraska, 1972, are the only other receivers to win the award since the Heisman Trophy was first presented in 1935. This may not go down in the history books, alongside Beano Cook predicting 2 Heisman Trophy awards for former Notre Dame quarterback Ron Powlus, which never came close to happening, of course, but that does set the bar high for Amon-Ra's personal goals. Brown may lay the foundation for athletic success for his sons, but fortunately for the college football world, he seems to be far more tolerable than LeVar Ball. Follow at KevinOnkFB. Former Michigan basketball star Chris Webber wasted no time accepting an invitation from Wolverines head coach Jim Harbaugh to be an honorary captain. During a radio interview on Friday, Harbaugh extended the invite to Webber, and Webber quickly accepted. "I definitely am honored," Webber said to Harbaugh on Friday during a segment on WTKA, as quoted and reported by the Detroit News. "As you know, and getting to speak to you over the years, I love what you've done with the program. Good luck, and yeah, I'm definitely going to be a part of it." Webber was an in-studio guest on the radio station Friday. Harbaugh reportedly called in specifically to extend the invitation to Webber during a radio marathon event. For Harbaugh, this is once again striking at an opportunity to generate some buzz for the football program, but including Webber in such a role is worth noting. Webber was required to have a 10-year separation from the University of Michigan due to his connection to a booster scandal associated with the basketball program. Webber continues to rebuild his relationship with the school and other members of Michigan's famed Fab Five. What game Webber will attend as an honorary captain will be decided at a later time. Follow at KevinOnkFB. The tradition of the groom's cake shaped like a football stadium is nothing new, but one bride-to-be had a little more fun with her groom's cake planning than others we have seen through the years. The groom's cake for an LSU fan is a nice replica of LSU's Tiger Stadium, for a cake, of course, but this Texas A. But that's not all. A closer look at the scoreboard even reveals the score to be in favor of Texas A. I had to zoom the image pretty far just to confirm myself, but I was able to make out the 42 under the Texas A. I'll trust ESPN's Darren Rovell on the other half of the score. Bride gets LSU groom's cake for husband, who is a Tigers fan. She went to A. Not only has Aggies fans in crowd, sneakily has Aggies beating Tigers 42-28 on the scoreboard. Tears of joy. Pic.twitter.com/DBVRQVS63U. Darren Rovell, at Darren Rovell. June 23, 2018. Of course, this may be the only way the bride can get the upper hand in this football series. LSU has won 7 straight meetings in the series dating back to the 2011 Cotton Bowl just before Texas A. Also, the last time Texas A. I just want to know if former Les Miles got a chance to taste test the field portion of the cake. Follow at KevinOnkFB.